Formula One Austrian Grand Prix. I changed the background again, but the Austrian Grand Prix Formula One 2025. Can Mercedes win it back-to-back races? I mean, they had a great weekend in Canada. They were absolutely sublime, superb. I mean, George Russell performed an amazing race. A couple of times when after Mercedes made their pit stops, I think 2 times or 3 times he was fastest lap. He got the fastest lap in the end, and it was a clean sweep from George Russell. Pole position, fastest lap, race win. It was a clean sweep for George Russell at the Canadian Grand Prix. It was absolutely fantastic, flawless, made no mistakes, was never in danger of losing the race. He was fantastic, superb, brilliant performance, brilliant racecraft from him in that race, and I thought he was exceptional. He was fantastic, and he showed why. He's showing why Mercedes, like, he's showing why he deserved that new contract. I know Mercedes are waiting and they want to, you know, wait and see if they can get the opportunity, take the opportunity to get Max Verstappen. But I mean, I think, listen, I think Mercedes should try get Max Verstappen? Look, it depends on the view you're looking at it. If you want to have a team that doesn't want to destroy the rhythm, doesn't want to destroy the chemistry, okay, I can understand it. Because you can see Mercedes, they look like a team now. They look like a team that have a chemistry. They look like a team that is, you know, able to help each other. George able to help Kimi. Like, there's a good chemistry around the team. There's good vibes. You know, they're not expected to win, Mercedes. This is, they're not expected to win. It's strange because it's the first time in years that we don't expect Mercedes to compete for the title. Like, even in the years when they, last season and the season before, when they had Lewis Hamilton, we expect them to compete for the title because they have Lewis Hamilton, they have a top driver. But this year we don't expect them to compete. So, like, there's not like major pressure on them. If in terms of chemistry, in terms of the vibe of the team, in terms of the togetherness, they look good. But if you want to win championships, if you want to have the best drivers, you have to try anybody would take Max Verstappen. Anybody would take Max Verstappen. And listen, it would be very harsh for Mercedes to not give a contract to George Russell. But at the same time, if you want to win championships, you have to try as much as you can to get the best drivers. And the partnership between Kimi Antonelli and Max Verstappen would be an amazing lineup. Amazing lineup. That would be like that if they can get their car sorted and make it very good ahead of the new regulations next year, it could be Mercedes domination all over again, like they had Rosberg and Lewis when they had a great lineup, driver line, and they won for years and years and years. If they can get Verstappen, I think Mercedes could get back to their glory days. So, as much as harsh it would be for Mercedes to not give a contract to George Russell because he's performed massively great this season, incredibly well. I mean, anybody would take Max Verstappen. If he's available, anybody would do anything they can to get Max Verstappen. He's the best driver in Formula 1 right now. He's the benchmark. Okay, he might not win the championship this season, but he's the benchmark of a driver. He's the benchmark. Everybody looks at him right now. So, whenever the Max Verstappen is available, every team would do anything they can, and they do whatever it takes to get Max Verstappen. Anybody would take it. So, as much as it would be harsh, and I agree it would be very harsh, sometimes you have to make tough decisions. If they can get Max Verstappen, Mercedes, if Mercedes can get Max Verstappen, sometimes Mercedes have to make the harsh decisions. But if he's not available, then okay, no problem. Give a contract to George Russell, which he deserves. He deserves a contract, George Russell. But sometimes in Formula 1, people, you know, like George Russell said a couple of weeks ago, I think in Saudi Arabia, before Saudi Arabia, anybody, even if you're performing well, if you're out of contract, people would do anything to take you out. That's how it works in Formula 1, unfortunately. Even if you're performing well, sometimes things you're not that are not in your control, the next day you could be out. So this is how it works in Formula 1 sometimes. It's strange, it's harsh, it's not fair, but it's how it works nowadays. And Mercedes looked very good. Like I said, Kimi Antonelli got his first podium, as I said. Obviously, he finished his school exam, so he should able to be 100% focused for the racing. But Mercedes look good. Can they win it back to back? I mean, they won Austria last season, but let's be honest, it was mostly because of the tango between Norris and Verstappen. Can they do it again? I don't think this is a track that suits them better than McLaren. I don't think this is a track that suits them better than Red Bull, because obviously Red Bull with Max Verstappen, they're usually very, very strong in at the Red Bull ring. I mean, Verstappen won 5 times in Austria Grand Prix, and he won a couple of sprint races as well, lots of pole positions. He has an incredible record in Austria, that's for sure. And for sure, and last season he could have won as well if it wasn't for the tango between him and Norris. Even though when that race Red Bull were not the fastest car, but he could have hold on with that win. And then I think they made a terrible pit stop, which led to the fight between Norris and Verstappen, Red Bull. So, but yeah, it was a fantastic. But yeah, like Verstappen will be, very sure will be competing and will be up there to try to win in the Austria Grand Prix. So yeah. Ferrari, I mean, we heard rumors they're gonna bring upgrades and new floor, etc., etc. I mean, what upgrades? Honestly, like yeah, as much as listen, it might work. It might make them more closer to McLaren and Mercedes, for example. But what upgrades? They also bring upgrades to Bahrain and Saudi Arabia, etc., and they still mediocre, and they still look poor in terms of pace. And I don't know. Listen, Lewis Hamilton is hoping that the upgrades of Ferrari would work. I don't think it will work. I might be wrong, but I don't think it will work, because Ferrari will always be Ferrari. Like why? Again, I said it multiple times before, and I'll say it again, because obviously the first video I talk about Formula 1 in YouTube. Why did they change the seating of the car from last year? Why? The car last year was able to win a couple of races, was able to compete for championship. They nearly won the championship last year, despite not having the best car. They nearly won the championship last year, and they brought in Hamilton, who can give them something extra, and they changed 99% of the seatings of last year's car. Why? Why did you do that? Yeah, you might hit seating of last year's car, so maybe you might think, oh, you had to change it. But to change it 99%, come on, like that's incredible. What they were thinking, Ferrari, I will never know. What they were thinking, I will never know. Terrible. That was a terrible idea for Ferrari, and it proved to be at the end. McLaren, obviously, this season they've been absolutely outstanding. But obviously, in the Canadian Grand Prix, which was a week where it's the first time they didn't have even a podium. They really struggled. Mercedes looked better in pace than them. Oscar Piastri had a very difficult race. I think it was the worst race from him this season so far. Australia was fantastic. Just was a bit unlucky in the end with the rain, etc., and he was stuck in the grass. But if you watch the whole race of Australia, I thought he was fantastic. In every single races he was fantastic. Oscar Piastri this year, but in Canada it was not a good race. He had a difficult race, that's for sure. Poor race. Lando Norris had a difficult qualifying, but managed to come back, and he was very good in race. And then there was a bit of the situation happened between him and Piastri, and Norris, like inexcusably terrible mistake he made, going for a gap which never existed, that was not there, and he made a terrible mistake. So yeah, McLaren obviously they should be able to bounce back and come back. Obviously it's not going to be easy, because Mercedes will be pumped up, fired up, and full of boost of confidence, having won the Canadian Grand Prix, and they'll be hoping to try to build on from that. The pace of Red Bull from Max Verstappen, they'll be up there, that's for sure. So it will not be easy, but I think McLaren should be. Should still be. I think McLaren should be the fastest team this weekend in Austria. I think it's a track that suits them really well. It's a low-speed corner, yes, but I think it's a track that should suit them. And yeah, Norris, he was very good in Austria last year, but if he was more decisive in his overtaking, he would have won the race. Oscar Piastri was very good in Austria as well last year. So yeah, let's see. and people say, Oscar Piastri. Listen, he would. I think Oscar Piastri should bounce back this weekend. Yes, it's a low-speed corner, which Oscar Piastri, when he does really well, is mostly high-speed corners. But when he won Bahrain, and Bahrain is not exactly a high-speed corner. He won also. Also China, and China is not exactly 100% high-speed corner circuit, so he can do well in low-speed corners. Not as much as high-speed corners, I get it, but he can also do well and he can adapt well in low-speed corners. Norris is also always very strong in Austria. That's why he got his first podium. It's a track that you could say he should have won last year. He's had a difficult couple of weeks, with his qualifying problems. So yeah, it's going to be very important for him to be up there, not having to start 7th, 8th, 10th or whatever, because that's why in Bahrain, Saudi Arabia, in Canada, he was starting in that positions. So he needs to bounce back and avoid the problems in qualifying to have a better chance, because Austria is not it's a circuit that you can overtake, but it's not like you have to do. It's a circuit that also you have to do well in qualifying. Listen, Austria is not like mostly decided in qualifying, but you have to do well in qualifying. You cannot be like 8th or 9th if you want to win the race. Like, be up there at least, top 3, top 4, but not be 7th, 8th, then 9th. Then it will be very difficult for Norris to win the race. Yes, he's had a difficult season, especially his teammate is doing amazingly well, but it's a long season. So yeah, I expect McLaren to bounce back, I expect Oscar to bounce back, and I expect Lando to bounce back. And then you've got the other teams. Williams have had a difficult couple of weeks. I mean, Canada looks strong, but again, the results didn't show that. They didn't have good results in Canada. Haas, they look quite decent this season. Sauber, they've picked up a couple of good points. Hulkenberg, great points in Spain and Canada. Alonso had a great race in Canada as well. So Aston Martin have had a couple of good races. We'll be hoping to build on that. Alpine have looked very poor this season, except the Bahrain Grand Prix, where I thought they were very good. So VCAP, they've looked this season so far okay. So I think the best of the midfield teams, I think it should be. I think Williams, I expect them to bounce back. I expect them to bounce back and come back. They've had a couple of difficult weeks, but I expect them to bounce back this weekend in Austria. My prediction. Pole position, I'm going for Max Verstappen. Pole position, I'm going for Lando Norris. Pole position, Lando Norris. Race win, but even though I predict Lando Norris to get pole, I don't think he's going to win the race. I think the guy who's going to win the race is Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen is going to win the race. He's going to shine in Red Bull Ring again. So yeah, first position Max Verstappen, second position Lando Norris, third position, Oscar Piastri. That's it, guys. Thank you. I wish you have a nice day. See you on next time, whether it is Saturday or Sunday, I will see. But I promise you to not take so much longer. So thank you, and have a nice day. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe my YouTube channel and my YouTube videos. Don't forget it, to help the growth, to make our channel, my channel, great. So yeah, thank you, and I wish you have a nice day. Bye.